So when did this all start to happen? I know that Canada, we used to see carbon as being such a burden, as something we need to get rid of. In some cases, we had to tax emitters, large carbon emitters. We still do. How did we go from carbon is a burden to perhaps something that we need to tap?
That's a good question. I think we've seen more and more over the past probably 5 years or so, all kinds of innovators in Canada. There's certainly lots of examples in Canada, but around the world saying, wait a second, carbon dioxide, ultimately it's made of two elements, carbon and oxygen. And those two elements are often used to make all kinds of things that we use in our daily lives. And so we've seen all kinds of really cool examples of entrepreneurs capturing carbon dioxide and then using it to make useful products instead of letting it release into the atmosphere. And, I think it's awesome what they're doing. I think we need to talk about it more. That's why we wrote a policy brief on this topic, because so much of the discourse in Canada, it's all doom and gloom.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very positive. We should be talking to kids about this, inspiring them so that they want to become the next generation of entrepreneurs that are engaged in this activity. And give these companies more profile and more exposure so that it could even maybe help them raise venture capital.
You mentioned the doom and gloom sense of it all, and it's true. I recall even during the last federal election just several weeks ago, there were lawn signs popping up that said climate emergency, climate crisis. And of course, a lot of this is tied into carbon emissions. And to think that there are companies out there who are actually finding practical solutions, and not only what do we do with this carbon, but we're actually going to erase it. That's amazing. So let's talk about some of these examples. Can you give us one of your favorite examples of which companies out there leading?
Yeah, one of my favorites is a company in New York. It's called Air Company. And what they've actually been able to do with captured carbon dioxide is create something like this. This is a bottle of vodka. And they have created this vodka with just two ingredients, carbon dioxide and water. And,
Wow.
It took me a while to figure out, well, wait, how on earth are they doing this? Like, this sounds like magic. And if you really think about it, the main ingredient in vodka is ethanol. And that's made up of three elements, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And you can find those same three elements in carbon dioxide and water, H2O. So what this company has been able to do is figure out how to rejig all the elements from those two ingredients, so to speak, and create ethanol. And then ethanol is blended with water to ultimately end up with vodka. So it's amazing what they've done. That same company has also been able to create hand sanitizer with captured carbon dioxide. And so that's obviously a product that a lot of people are using nowadays because of COVID. So these are just two great examples from a New York company. On
that moment, for just to pause you there, and I recall during the early days of the COVID crisis, and we're talking March 2020, when there was this big rush to get PPE and masks and hand sanitizer, and you couldn't find this in any store because it was being, taken off the shelves at the moment it arrived. And I recall seeing distillers transforming their production from going from distilling alcohol to distilling or to using their products to create hand sanitizer. So this seems sort of on the same vein.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that's probably part of how they're able to create hand sanitizers. It's maybe using some of the ingredients that are made while they've created the vodka.
I want to talk about some more of these issues. We've got to cut to a commercial break right now, but when we get back, we'll pick it right up.